People gathered in Washington, D.C. this weekend on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to show support for our allies in Ukraine. Today marks 3 years since Russia invaded its neighbor. People marched in Grand Rapids, Michigan, carrying Ukrainian flags. Stop Putin, stop war. There was a pro-Ukraine rally at the state capitol, Madison, Wisconsin. There was another at the state capitol in Salt Lake City, Utah, also at the state capitol in Columbus, Ohio. People rallied in support of our allies in Ukraine in Detroit, Michigan, and in Boston, Massachusetts. There was a huge turnout in Houston, Texas, in Reno, Nevada, and all around the world, from Toronto to Warsaw, from Paris to Melbourne, Australia. All these people all across our country, all across the world, all standing in solidarity with the people of Ukraine as they mark 3 years of trying to stay a country, of trying to resist this unprovoked Russian invasion. But here's how the U.S. government under Donald Trump marked that milestone today. This was the banner headline today at the Washington Post this afternoon. Quote, U.S. sides with Russia against Ukraine war resolution. Quote, Washington breaks with Europe, refusing to condemn Moscow on third anniversary of invasion. And, you know, UN resolutions are non-binding. Votes like this are symbolic. But this is essentially the U.S. declaring pretty much formally that we're on Russia's side now. U.S. was one of only 18 countries in the world to vote against Ukraine and with Russia on this today. So who are our allies now? Who are we allied with now? Well, based on this vote, we now stand with Russia, obviously. Also North Korea, Iran, Belarus, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Hungary, Israel, Mali, the Marshall Islands, Nicaragua, Niger, Sudan, and the United States of America. What a club to be part of. Welcome to our new axis. And how are we doing with the countries that have long been our allies? You know, the European nations that have been our closest allies for the last 80 years or so. Well, there was a remarkable moment, kind of an embarrassing moment in the Oval Office today, one in which I thought President Trump might burst. He's sitting there next to President Emmanuel Macron of France, and Trump tried to claim right there in front of Macron that somehow Europe is going to be getting back all the money that it's invested in Ukraine to support its defense against Russia. The U.S. is somehow getting screwed. We gave them the money, but Europe, it was just loans, and they're getting all the money back. The French president then interrupts the president of the United States to correct him, to say, actually, Europe has given more money than the United States to Ukraine's war effort and isn't getting any more of it back than the U.S. is. Watch this, and watch how President Macron touches Trump's arm here. Watch Trump's reaction.
Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the U.S., loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear.
No, in fact, to be frank, I can't even do a fake French accent. To be frank. But you see the way he puts his hand on Trump's arm? Like the way you do when Grandpa starts going on again about something he saw on Fox News? Now, Grandpa, we talked about this. You keep saying Europe is getting all its money back from Ukraine. But, Grandpa, to be frank, that's just not true. At a press conference later in the day, Trump said he thinks it is, quote, very much to the benefit of Russia to make a deal. I'm sure it will be, with the American president apparently quite hell-bent on making Russia as happy as possible.